Also, don't forget to mention the event.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! He's going to heave one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyreek Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw, pops and fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory's got a touchdown! Oh my! Dory's got a touchdown! Hands it off to Harvin. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out a winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
Delatorre.
J Scott.
What it do, 2-5?
Yes, sir. What it do, y'all boys.
It's good to see you guys. Jordan, get a little closer to your mic. Corey, were you going to ask me about my scallop trip?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out how you ducked the feds because I definitely snitched on you, brother. I don't know how. You didn't get raided?
So, you know what's interesting? So back, I think the law when enacted on June 1st that cops, like boat cops and FWC, can no longer board boats without probable cause. So we didn't see a single police officer or a single person from FWC out there. So I know you called in a hit on me. But shout out to me, my mom, my dad, my aunt and uncle. This is the group that we do it with every year, and had an absolute blast. We were battling weather the whole weekend, but had an absolute blast. Limited out both times. Was able to take home a pound of scallops. So those are sitting in the freezer right now, so ready to go. But if you've not had the chance to go scalloping, it is an unbelievable time. It's a little bit of an Easter egg.
I've heard.
No, haven't had a chance. Weird.
Yeah, you guys all have friends. I've invited you personally to go out, and I think maybe we do a little Stadium and Gale trip. Jordan, you and Corey can go up together. Nick, you come down. We'll go over to Yankeetown, Crystal River, Homosassa. We'll do it as a little Stadium and Gale leadership retreat.
I like it.
But all you do is you
float.
You're right.
Silk apparently is the ops. Called him hit on you.
I'm telling you, it's all the Jacksonville slander. This
I was
is
what somebody in Duval that knows somebody in the wildlife world, bro. Like, hey, we can work together here, bro.
I mean, they're not doing anything else in Jacksonville, so might as well go after Dan. So if you've never been scalloping, to give you an idea, the scallop season in Steinhatchee opens up maybe middle of June, and then it works its way down the coast down to North Pasco County. So all you do is you throw yourself a life jacket on, or if you just want to float normally, you put a little snorkel on and some goggles on, and you just sit on top of the water, and you're like in 2 to 4 feet of water. You see these little scallops. They have their little eyes that you can see, and then you use a little net, and you have a little bag, and you just go down and scoop. It's just a little Easter egg hunt.
They bite a little bit.
They can snap at you. You can't really see it anymore, but I caught one on the finger, Nick. It doesn't. It doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good.
Freaks me out. I had to pop back up and looked at the boat. They were like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "You didn't tell me these things bite. They fight back. You didn't tell me these scallops fight back.
They can't handle scallops."
You can rent boats out of Steinhatchee. Steinhatchee got hit by 3 hurricanes in 13 months. So that's an area that can use your help if you're looking for, an opportunity to get away. Obviously, you can rent houses and all that stuff. But, I mean, talk about an area that got absolutely decimated, and shout out to the folks that live in Steinhatchee for their recovery. But, just you can tell the difference, and it's sad, man. They got up to 17 feet of storm surge. 17 feet. That's a lot of feet, Nick.
Almost 2 NBA rims, regulation size. Almost 2.
Yeah, almost 2 stories of a building.
That would be
What's your
Olivier Rioux standing on the NBA rim, 17 feet.
It sure would be. That's a great example. I think the crowd needed that.
Good to think about it.
What did you chef up, man, with the scallops?
Yeah, so my uncle will cook them on the grill. He has these little metal scallop trays that previously he used a sauce from Frank's. So it was like a barbecue, like sweet honey barbecue sauce that he used to put on. They discontinued that. So this year's just olive oil and garlic. And he just cooked them up on the grill for a couple minutes. Let them change colors just slightly, and then they're done. Because after that, like most seafood, it just can turn very spongy or just not quite as good. So but this is one of my favorite weekends. It's very old Florida. You're very disconnected from the real world. There's no real grocery stores. There's nothing really to do. There's maybe 4 or 5 restaurants there. I mean, Steenhatchee has
I like that
800 residents, 900 residents during the year. I think during scallop season, it maybe gets up to 4,000 or 5,000, but there's not really much to do. So you just spend a lot of time on the river. So always appreciate.
Dope. What did you guys do with your weekend out there listening to this wealth talk, man? Scalloping in the panhandle in the river. That sounds like a wholesome boat too, man. If I would have sunk the feds, they would have been like, nah, man, no way that boat. That looks like a wholesome boat.
So my uncle's hold on,
made a U-turn.
Yeah. So what's funny is my uncle's a big Gator fan. He lives in Ocala, well, just north in Citra. And he's like, do you think Billy Napier has it? I'm like, man, that's my biggest concern this year. He's like, he stinks. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just holding out hope, brother.
Relax, Unc. I think we're in good hands, man. We'll see. But I got a good vibe for this season, bro. It's all on 2. Anywho, Jordan, what's up with it, man? You got into anything special this weekend? No?
Nothing special. I mean, I guess you could say it was a little special. I was by myself with the kids all weekend. That's a rare occasion. Ooh. Yeah, man. She come back tomorrow. She been in California since Thursday. Come back tomorrow. Yeah.
Big trust.
Yeah, I hit the beach, hit some beaches, hit some splash pads. You gotta keep the activities going. We went outside. I lined some cones up in the ladder, just got them out there playing around, picking up, just killing time. So they back at daycare. They had daycare today. That was a nice break. Brought them home. We got them all settled in. But I don't want to bore y'all with my dad weekend, but it was definitely a full effect daddy weekend this weekend for me. So
yeah, I ain't finna bore you. I ain't doing nothing. A lot of what Jordan talking about, man. Just dad talk, bro. Y'all see me on y'all know the fishing and the same old. Nick, anything special?
Yeah, went back St. Augustine all weekend. It's our 2nd anniversary. What is it? 7 years together, 2 years married today. So happy anniversary to my wife.
Congrats, brother.
Buddy, I was 7 sheets to the wind at this time 2 years ago. I think
yes, you were. Yes, he was. And I mean, and I'm not trying to spill too much, Nick, but I think the wife was maybe 8 or 9 sheets to the wind.
Buddy, we had the underdog came out victorious. The betting prop would have been minus 4,800. Nick gets carried out of his own wedding. Did the carrying out. And then went out with Dan after. Put the wife to bed and went out after.
Yeah, it was us. Brooke was there. Cassidy Hill.
Cassidy
Hill.
Not Casey Hill.
Yeah.
Cassidy night with Dan. That's an experience.
And with Graham Hall. Zach left early.
Graham and his wife. Zach and his wife. My wife overserved, underfed. I got back to the hotel room and she was eating wedding cake in her wedding dress still.
Nice.
I was like, let's
go. To do it, though.
So we're making it a tradition to go back to the hotel. We stayed at Casa Monica, so we did it again last year. Lauren was pregnant. I joked I was drinking for 3 at the time. This year we brought Frankie with us, so it was fun doing St. Augustine stuff with our daughter instead of me just drinking by myself when my wife is pregnant. But love Casa Monica. Not an ad. Would love for it to be an ad. Great weekend.
Nice, man. Nice. Hey, everybody that's listening, smash that like button, hit subscribe. hit retweet if you're on Twitter. Don't cost nothing to show love. We got quite the show. Dan will break it down for y'all in a little bit, but definitely smash that like, hit that subscribe, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Corey, let's do an ad read. We got Desmond Green waiting for us, and we're going to get right into Desmond Green.
Okay, nice. One time for the great folks at Brown Insurance and Financial Services. Anything you need insured from the Panhandle to the Keys, my man Greg can take care of you. Life, auto, motorcycle, RVs, anything with wheels, we definitely got you. Also, financial services. It don't cost nothing to get a free quote at browninsurance.com or give them a call at 954-589-2204. Big coverage, Greg.
Hey, what it do, baby?
With that, before we welcome Desmond Green, I do want to bring up the event that we're having on July 27th at First Magnitude Brewing. It's going to be from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. July 27th, starting again at 2 p.m. We've announced the addition of a few players that are going to join us: Vernell Brown III, Pup Howard, Jacoby Jackson, Jaden Robinson, Drake Stubbs, Trayon Webb, Jaden Woods, and a bunch more. This is an event with us, High Top Sports and Gators Breakdown. You can see tickets in our chat right now. It's a posh.vip link, so go check that out. Again, July 27th in Gainesville, Florida at First Magnitude Brewing at 2 p.m. Us, High Top Sports and Gators Breakdown, Vernell Brown, Grayson Howard, or Pup Howard, Jacoby Jackson, Jaden Robinson, Drake Stubbs, Trayon Webb, and Jaden Woods. This is presented by the Sachs Law Group. So we look forward to seeing you there. Buy tickets and come hang out. With that, we welcome...
More names on the way. More names on the way.
Sure. Absolutely. With that, we welcome 4-star interior offensive lineman, 6'4", 354 pounds from Timberland High School in St. Stephen, South Carolina, a recent commit to the Florida Gators, Desmond Green, to the show. Desmond, thanks so much for joining us, brother.
Absolutely, man. It's a pleasure to be here, man. How y'all doing tonight?
Good, man. Well, as always, we are going to start with, how did you ultimately end up committing to the Florida Gators?
I just fell in love with everything down there in Gainesville, and I really trust Coach Sale, Coach DeCosta, and Coach Napier most of my future of getting me to the NFL and, preparing me to be a great young man in college, and preparing me with the life skills, to be a great man in life.
Well, I mean, I see the banner for Oklahoma. You're recruited by Oklahoma, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia Tech, a lot of who's who. What really stood out about Jonathan DeCosta, Rob Sale, Billy Napier, about what they were telling you compared to what these other coaches were saying?
Shoot, I mean, instead of listening to what they tell me, I looked into things for myself as well. Like Coach Sale, he put in 2 guys from a group of high school, Louisiana Lafayette, took those 2, took Robert Hunt to the NFL from a group of high school, and I feel like with the resources down there in Gainesville, Florida, the Power 4 school, that could really, that's probably, a better environment for me to get developed in by Coach Sale and Coach DeCosta. But, things like that. And Coach DeCosta coming from the NFL, got tons of experience with the Browns and the NFL and whatnot. Things like that. That was the stuff that I looked at, in my recruitment from them that made me make my decision on, running with the Gators.
Now, you're a multiple sport athlete. Which one is your favorite sport? I've seen clips of you doing some track and field activities, and also on the baseball team and basketball team. Which one is your favorite sport that's not football?
That's not football, probably basketball. I can't hit people just as much, but I can get away with a little bit of stuff.
You got some post game, man. Like who you look at in the basketball world and try to model your game out there a little bit.
DeMarcus Cousins for sure.
Okay.
Boogie.
You got the same mean streak.
Yeah.
You don't mean. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Nick.
That was a bad joke, so I held off on it.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're all bad, so keep going.
No. I shoot. I had to pick.
Very good. I saved you from a bad joke. What is your batting average at in baseball, man? And what position you play in the field?
I played first. I played baseball like my 8th and 9th grade year, so I was on the JV. So I don't even know what my batting average was. I didn't really start hitting the ball until my 9th grade year. My 8th grade, I was just whiffing everything. But whenever I did put the bet on the ball, it would go pretty far, in my opinion.
That's what's up, man. So, what's you're locked in on 2 sports right now? Is it just strictly football, or what other sports
Now,
are you doing right now?
now right now, it's strictly football because I'm a mid-year. I'm a mid-year enroll this December. So yeah, and basketball and track in the spring and the winter. So I won't be around for when they start.
So obviously the coaches like you for a lot of your skill set and everything else. What are you focusing on this off season before you go into your final senior year in high school before you enroll at UF?
Definitely get my weight down and building explosiveness at the point of contact. On the offensive line and whatnot. It's like a split second between winning and losing a rep. That first initial punch, whether it be on the offensive line, defensive line, pretty much determines whether or not you're gonna win or lose that rep. So definitely those two things. And I feel like losing some weight would definitely affect my explosiveness as well. So I feel like that'll take care of itself, even though if I drop some weight. But those two things are the biggest things I'm definitely focusing on this offseason.
Do you have any pancake goals, any stats, numbers, anything like that you want to accomplish? Do you pay attention to the rankings? Are you trying to climb and compete in that world? Like, what's your goals in that capacity?
Obviously, I just want to mess everybody up every game, so I don't got a set number when it comes to like pancakes and whatnot. But like when it comes to rankings and stuff, everybody gonna have their opinions and whatnot. Um, I know what I can do, and I know that you know the guys that control All Stars and whatnot might think highly of somebody else because they got more followers on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. But I don't really get too messed up in all that stuff because it's just a bunch of politics and popularity contests, in my opinion. So I don't even mess with that stuff. Like everybody can think I'm a 3-star, and everybody say, "Oh, 3-star you this, blah blah blah, blah," all that." So like, I don't make no difference to me. I'm still play football, so.
Yeah.
What were these official visits like? How are they different? I guess everyone's probably got their own flavor to them, but tell me if I missed one. There was South Carolina, OU, Georgia, and did you take all 5?
Yeah, so I took one to Virginia Tech as well.
Tech. Ooh, Blacksburg.
Yeah.
How did each one of those kind of differ from each other, whether it's the message or what they show you? How does each official kind of different?
Well, every visit, showcases different things about different schools. Every school is really unique. Different people, different cultures and traditions and whatnot, all types of stuff like that. I say the most different, the most like I wouldn't say outstanding, but like the most different was the Virginia Tech visit since we weren't during the spring game in April. But like the ones in June, they had all the nutrition presentations. Um, well, I will say I think when I went to Oklahoma and Florida, those are and well, not I'm not 100% sure, but I know for a fact when I went to Florida, when I got pulled into my meeting with Coach DeCoster, he was. I'm not gonna say like he gave us like a timeshare presentation, man. He was just talking straight ball. That's why I like him so much because he's like locked in on the little details about football and whatnot, and especially offensive line play. But things like when we was in that meeting and my dad asked him what's some things that I can do better, and he didn't even hesitate to pull up my tape or nothing like that. He didn't even have that plan to do. He just like had it on go, like things like that.
Nice.
Something that definitely stands out. Like when I take all those visits.
What did that kind of show you? Like he was already familiar with your game, had it ready to go when your dad asked, like, "Hey, listen, I know this kid. We're not just trying to check boxes here. Like we're kind of just showed an investment, I guess."
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, like something like that shows me like, oh yeah, they're definitely like they definitely want me. I'm definitely a priority to them. Mm-hmm.
So what's one thing you looking forward to when you get to Gainesville? Obviously that's a little bit down the road, but what's one thing you're looking forward to when you get down to campus and stuff like that, whether it's meeting with a coach like you mentioned or a specific player, anything like that?
No, I mean, I want to get to work as soon as possible. You know, I want to have an opportunity to play early, you know, get on the field, play meaningful snaps. Like, the main thing is going to be football, of course. But, like, when I'm outside of football, man, I just want to get to know everybody on campus. I want to be, like, that campus name, you know, because it's a small town out here. They ain't, like, what, like 700 people went to our school last year. And it's like 50,000 down there at the University of Florida. So I want everybody to know my name down there in Florida.
I love it. I love it.
Desmond, can you tell? So a lot of Gator fans don't know a lot about Jonathan DeCoster. He's not really spoken a lot publicly. He's, you know, the assistant offensive line coach. What is he like as a person, and what do you envision him as a coach?
He a cool guy for sure. I don't got to do no type of switching up, code switching, none of that stuff. Man, I can just be me around him. Him, Coach Sale, Coach Navy, all them guys. That's why, you know, I was like, I'm so comfortable around all the coaches. I don't gotta do nothing extra. I don't gotta take nothing away. I don't gotta talk no different, no nothing like that. And Coach DeCosta, man, he a real cool guy, and he loves football. Like, I just know it. Every time I'm around him, talking about ball, anytime he around somebody else talking about ball. I mean, obviously, you know, when it comes to recruiting, he gonna, you know, do his little, like, he gonna recruit some, but he obviously just want to talk about ball, and that's what I like about him the most. And he's so, like, he pays attention to such smallest details about anything on the field. You know that anything you do, he ain't gonna miss it. He sees everything, you know, about offensive line play that he can point out, and he points it out. And, you know, that's something I like about him a lot.
What does that group chat look like? I know how it is with y'all recruits. Once y'all start committing, y'all create these group chats. Y'all start recruiting other players. Like, what's that group chat like? Y'all aggressive on the trail right now?
Shoot, I mean, I ain't getting looking. I don't think I get in no group chat just yet.
Okay.
But I got added to something, but I don't think it was like all recruits.
We'll get you added. We'll get you added.
Right.
We've had a few of you guys. We got Justin Williams waiting for us as well. You guys have any more questions? We'll let Desmond get on with us tonight.
Nah, man, I appreciate you pulling up, man. Good luck at the University of Florida, man. Good luck your senior season, man. Like, lock in, get better, all of that, man. We're looking forward to seeing you in Gainesville, my guy.
Yes, sir. I thank you. Hey, I appreciate y'all for tonight.
Absolutely, man. I know there's a lot of Gator fans excited to welcome you to Gainesville, man. So best of luck with everything, and we'll hopefully talk with you soon, Desmond.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Desmond. All right, guys, we got Justin Williams waiting too. So we got to get straight into an ad read, straight into Justin Williams. With that, want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Home Field Apparel. Go visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word, to get 15% off of your order per email address. So maybe you've already bought something, use maybe a different email address. Not telling you to do something against the rules, just letting you know it's per email address. So again, go visit Home Field Apparel. If you want a cool hat, the corduroy hat, if you want the baseball pullover, if you want the starter jacket looking thing, if you want a t-shirt that replicates what your parents maybe wore in the 60s, maybe what you wore in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s when you were at the University of Florida, go visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale. And with that, we want to welcome from Buchholz High School, Justin Williams, who was the first player to surpass 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in a very, very long time. Set the Buchholz program record with 7 touchdowns in one game. And in 2024, had 1,473 receiving yards, 13 touchdowns, 1,023 rushing yards, and 16 touchdowns. A true athlete, 4-star Justin Williams. Justin, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate you waiting a few minutes. I know you were in the green room waiting for Desmond Green. We got to get you and Desmond in a group chat, so at least we get something started here.
Yes, sir. I'll make sure to add him. I saw that.
I know you're in the group chat. Justin, I know you're in Gainesville at Buchholz there. Talk to us a little bit about ultimately why you decided on the University of Florida.
So on my official visit, I actually didn't know I was gonna commit like on that day. I was planning to commit before the season sometime, but I was sitting in Napier's office. And I was like, this is my home. Like I just have to go here. So, but no, I trust in Billy Gonzalez and Napier just to get me to where I want to go. So that's ultimately why I committed.
What was it like, or I guess what goes into being able to stay home? I know AR Anthony Richardson didn't go to Buchholz, but we've talked to him a bunch about
Eastside
playing where you're from. What kind of pitch did they have to you about that, or was that even part of your mindset and your decision to commit to Florida?
So yeah, staying home really wasn't like I had Indiana in my top 5. Like staying home wasn't like for me. But no, I just felt right. I saw the logo. I was just like, I gotta be a Gator. I grew up watching them going to the swamp every day, just hanging.
Have you thought at all how many times have you been in the stands on a Saturday? Have you thought at all what it'll be like running out of the tunnel on the field, no longer in the stands? Have you thought what that moment will feel like yet?
Nah, yeah. So on my official, we bought the field, and I would just imagine myself running down the sideline, just hearing the crowd going crazy. I could definitely see myself doing that.
What do you see yourself in the Florida offense?
They got me, or basically what they pitched to me was that I'm gonna be playing the role of kind of like that, the Trey Wilson, Vernell kind of role, that slot receiver, and just doing a lot of motion to the backfield, playing some running back. So I'm definitely gonna be able to do, and that's also another reason why I committed, because he gave me the opportunity and pitched me that I would be able to play both positions at Florida.
I know Billy G's been doing a good job with recruiting the wide receiver position. Are there any other coaches on staff that help land your commitment and get you to come into the fold?
Can you repeat? Or you can repeat that.
Yeah, no problem. I said I know Billy G has been doing a great. You hear us?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Yeah, Billy G been doing a great job of recruiting the wide receiver position, and we know like that's his thing. He's been around the program, several different coaches, and been successful. Is there anybody else around like the coaching staff to help in this whole process with you like solidifying your commitment with us?
Yes, sir. Assistant receiver coaches, they text me every day, just making me feel like family, really. And yeah, it just feels like a good environment where I could really see, and I know I'm better. Billy G, he feels like a real father figure. Like he's gonna push me to be as great as I want to be, and that's what I'm looking for. I just want to max out my full potential and see where I can go.
So Justin, man, I was a coach at Cardinal Newman last year, so I got a chance to see you play in person, man. You actually single-handedly beat our team. I can definitely tell you that. I know you remember that game, I'm sure. It was a dog fight, but sure, you was a phenomenal player, man. Love seeing you in person. I'm glad that you in the orange and blue. I'm a Jordan Scarlett, man. I'm a former Gator running back, so I'm glad to see you doing your thing, man. It hurt when I saw you killing us, but now that you're a Gator, I ain't too mad at it. I just want to give you your flowers, big dog. You did a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
You're muted, Dan.
Sorry, Justin, I like to ask this question to folks that are in your position. You're going into your senior year. What do you most want to focus on going into this next year before you enroll at UF?
So really just working on my craft, like what I see in my game that I need to, kind of work on is my releases. Just, getting outside, just moving around, and getting out my breaks are definitely the two things that I'm focusing on this offseason, and I have been working.
When did you find out that you were the first player in a very long time to surpass the 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in one season? Is that something that you knew was coming up, or did somebody tell you towards the end of the season or after you did it? But talk to us a little bit about breaking that record.
So they told me after the season. I had no clue that I was going to be playing running back. So it was definitely a surprise, like in 5 games, getting 1,000 yards, 5 games, but like 8 games, getting 1,000 yards, it's kind of crazy to do. But yeah, it really hasn't been like set in that it is. So
I mean, Devin Hester is
I'm
like
just taking
elite
it all in.
company, right?
Definitely.
I mean, I was going to say Devin Hester is a lead company to be in, the first guy to do it since 2002. Not bad, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. You guys got any more questions before we head out?
Nah, man. My last question: who do you model your game after as a receiver, and also who's your favorite Gator all time, man?
Favorite all time? I'm gonna have to go with Percy Harvin. And a lot of people compare me to him, so I kind of been studying that. But yeah, definitely he was different.
I love it, man. Well, Justin, we appreciate you coming on the show. Best of luck your upcoming year at Buchholz, man. We're looking forward to watching in the orange and blue, and hopefully we'll have you on in the near future, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Justin. We appreciate Justin for joining the show today.
That lag was crazy. We got to get these boys some NIL cell phone service or something.
We do. Yeah. Right now we're on Mint Mobile. We've got to get Florida Victorious to get a Verizon.
AT&T. Yeah, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile. Like, holler at us, man. Get these boys.
I don't know if we want AT&T. Trump was criticizing AT&T. So right now we got to go Verizon today.
Oh, you put tariff on the board?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. But we normally space these interviews back to back. We don't normally space these interviews back to back. Normally we have some time for some banter, but not today. So we start with Desmond Green, then we go to Justin Williams, and now we're going to go to freshman quarterback Tramell Jones, who I want to put it out there on the internet. We put out a post that spelt Tramell Jones's name wrong, and I want to take responsibility for spelling it wrong.
I already threw you under the bus, bro.
So I want to put that out there that I was the one that spelt it wrong. So nobody criticized Stadium and Gale except for me. I deserve the criticism. Hailing from my favorite city in the state of Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Tramell Jones, Mandarin High School legend and freshman quarterback, 4-star quarterback and freshman at the University of Florida. Tramell, welcome to the show, my friend.
I appreciate you guys for letting me be on the show tonight.
Absolutely, brother. We're going to start this question with the same way we did the last two.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you were committed to FSU. You flipped to UF. Talk to us a little bit about your recruitment and how you ended up at the University of Florida.
Bro, real quick, you know what's crazy? When you Google Tramell Jones, the first picture that pops up.
We got to change it. We got to change it.
Tough look.
Tough look. I mean, he's got a nice half Windsor knot on his photo on the UF website. So, but Tramell, go back to the original question. How did you ultimately end up flipping from Mike Norvell to the University of Florida?
Yeah, I would just say Coach Nape and Coach O'Hara. I mean, they recruit me even though I was committed to Florida State for 2 years. And then I remember going before my senior season, took like 2 visits in the spring to really look at the program, make sure that was the best decision for me and my family and my future. And I mean, I remember taking those visits and they were just like very personal, very up close. Got to see everything, got to see how the players practiced. And I remember going through the summer thinking about it. I remember going through Elite 11 thinking about it. I remember going through my senior season thinking about it, even after the injury, and I really just ultimately had to make the best decision for myself, and that was the University of Florida, and it was just home for me, and that was a dream school for me.
When did you know? Like, what was the deciding factor for you? Because there's at some point where you're committed to one school and then all of a sudden you're open to hearing from another school. What was the conversation, or what was the piece that ultimately said, hey, I think I have a better future somewhere else?
I mean, after being committed for so long, it's like you have that thought in the back of your mind. It's like, really, is this school for me? And at the beginning, when I committed, I was all in for it. I remember I shut it down. I was ready, and I remember going through the season, and I see that switch that they had at the end of the season. And I was already thinking about it before that, just because I had faith in Coach Napier, even though so many guys and so many people were down him, didn't think he was going to be able to flip the season around, didn't think he was going to have a great season, didn't think the team was going to have a great season. But that thought process really didn't go through my mind. But like, just them talking to me, the offense they run, pro style offense. The quarterbacks has a lot of command. The offense has a lot of control, and that's something I wanted to be a part of.
You had Gator Nation in their feelings, because there was like the Mandarin 3.
Yeah.
It was strike 1. It was strike 2. It was strike 3. We had Stubbs on the show shortly after. I think Corey made him go viral with his questions. What kind of, is there any pressure in Jacksonville? Like, Jacksonville is not a Florida State. Duval is not a Florida State county. There's orange and blue heavy in Duval County. What was the around you, maybe in the city? What was the pressure once you committed to Florida State and Florida's still coming after you? I know Twitter was still coming after you. They were at Corey's neck.
I mean, I did see a lot of orange and blue, and I remember I rep my school, so when I was committed, I always used to have Florida State gear on. And I remember there used to be people like, you don't like the Gators, you don't. They were just asking me questions, asking me crazy questions, like off the wall questions. And I really just never looked at those kind of things. I mean, I remember when I first committed, when I was a little bit younger in my high school career, I used to look at Twitter and things like that and see things people used to say. And then as I got older and the recruiting process got a little bit more like, really, it was starting to not butt heads a little bit. That's when I really got off the Twitter, and I wasn't really looking at what everyone else had to say, because I mean, ultimately, it was my decision, and what my future is no one else's. So,
but no one like the barber. You go to the barber shop, go get your hair cut before Friday night, and then people in the barber shop being like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Shoot, it was really all full talk in the barber shop. To be honest, it was really just fun and giggles. To be honest.
Yeah.
Is your mindset entering like the recruiting process, did it shift at some point, maybe after the injury, anything like that? Because coming here Lagways, you kind of got the job, and you kind of it's gonna be, kind of locked in, like just being what it is. Does your mindset switch like with the Florida State thing as well? Because there's availability, you could play right away there. Like it's 9 times out of 10 to get to the first spot is a layup for you. Does development and waiting your turn, did the injury play a part in that? Like where the patience came from with knowing that you're gonna have to sit a little bit?
When I started to get a little bit older, I started to see that there was a lot of it was the business side of it. Like the coaches have a job to do, everyone has a job to do, they got to feed their family. So there was a business side of it. And then when it came to playing right away, I knew that not always playing right away was the best thing for me, or for just anything. Just playing right away wasn't the best thing. And I knew that coming in here, I could get developed, I could compete, I could get better. I mean, playing with Lag, I mean, we push each other every day. I lift with him every day. We're pushing each other. We grind together, and we shine. So that was really it.
What's
real
the
quick on that
difference?
lifting note,
Go ahead.
Dan, real quick.
Yeah.
I got a chance Friday before y'all had the week off. I have a couple people in my mind who, when you stepped into the gym for the first heavy day, did you go, who is that? And how is that? Watching somebody lift, like Jaden Ball pops to my mind. Watching him when he was squatting that Friday, I'm like,
yeah,
that's excessive. Unnecessary amount of weight.
Yeah, it was a crazy amount of weight. But I would say the first person that came to mind was freshman Jaden Woods. I mean,
Freak.
When we
Real current
first
name.
yeah, when we first got in there in January, and I think it was around February, we got a little heavy. And hey,
his heavy is different than everyone else's. Him and
his
George
heavy-
Gums get their own
yeah,
weights.
they're at the end. They're always at the end on the other side of the weight room. Those weights are a little bit heavier over there. Those are big guys.
Listen. You and I, we need to go and make sure they're using the same weights that we're using. Put them on a scale. Make sure those 45s are actually 45s.
Yeah, I love that Nick's comparing himself to these college athletes.
I lift weights, the same weights that are in the gym, just not the same number of weights that they're
or the
lifting.
same reps of weights,
but the
or
same actual weights. I can lift those.
They do this all the time, Tramell.
Yeah, they throw on the 45s like them. They're 10s, 25s. God.
I get it, man. I get it. Tramell, what's the difference? So you come over from Mandarin during I guess during the winter time, in January, you go into that quarterback room. Talk to us a little bit about evaluating tape and kind of just how different those meetings are at the college level compared to the high school level.
Well, I'll first start to say, like, at Mandarin, we threw the ball at Mandarin. Like, my coaches, Coach Bullock, Toby Bullock, the head coach, all my coaches, they got me prepared for the next level. We had a complex offense at Mandarin, and pretty much coming into Florida, all I had to get used to was the terminology. There's only so many concepts you can run. In football, regardless. You just gotta add motions, add different formations. That was really the biggest thing, and knowing the terminology, knowing how they say things, knowing what kind of different defenses they run in the SEC. Because I know, especially on third downs, they get pretty complicated, they get pretty freaky with those defenses. So, just getting acclimated to those things, which is things I've seen before. Like they're not new to me. So just knowing the terminology was a little bit different, but that was it.
What was the transition? Because you're early enrollee. What was that transition? The first workout, and then also just the first spring, going through your first spring. What was that like?
Shoot, I've been lifting with Tom Cortex in Jacksonville, Florida. They trained Caleb Williams. They trained Anthony Richardson. They trained even DJ went there during our breaks. He's been training with those guys. I've been lifting with those guys for a long time, ever since I was probably my freshman year, 8th grade year. So, coming in and lifting weights wasn't really anything new to me. I was ready and prepared to go when it came to the lifting part. And then when it came to spring, every day we had a new install, and which Coach O'Hara was trying to tell me. Well, not trying to tell me, but he was telling me that that's how it was going to be when I came in January, and that we were going to have new installs, and that it was going to be pretty much a heavy load throughout the spring. And that's me. That's what they wanted to do. They want to test what the freshmen can handle. They want to test how your mindset is, and they want to test the ups and downs and how you stay pretty much level throughout the whole thing, and your emotions stay pretty much the same. I wasn't really like up and down. It wasn't really that much for me, I would say. I was pretty much steady throughout the whole way, improving, seeing where everyone's at on the field, seeing the reads clearly, seeing how the game slows down. And I think that's been going on in OTAs also.
Is that training up there with Tom Gormley?
Yes.
Bro,
yes.
Shout out to Tommy. we played baseball together at high school. He graduated a year after me. That's my guy.
Yeah. Nick's old, Tramell. Nick's old.
But lifting the same weights as Tom?
You can't tell by the gray beard, but Nick is very old.
Yeah, Dan's I'm the second youngest on the show.
But I still have brown in the beard. You know what I mean? Tramell, what's one thing that you really want to work on this offseason as you go in, to next season? Is it accuracy? Is it placement? Is it playbook? Where's your mind at right now on June 30th?
I would say playbook. I want to know offense to the fullest. I want to know the ins and outs. I want to know what the offensive line is doing. I want to know the protections. I want to know pretty much. I want to be a 3D Gator. That's what Coach Napier says. I want to be a 3D Gator. I want to know what all 22 guys are doing. on the field at all times. I want to know what the defense is doing. I want to know pretty much everything. I want to be in the playbook no matter what. I mean, Coach Napier and Coach O'Hara pretty much recruited me because I can pass the ball. I mean, that they think that's my best trait. They think my accuracy is second to none. They think I can throw the ball anywhere on the field, and that's why they brought me in. And I mean, that's really what I want to focus on, just that playbook.
I've got a question. I surprisingly never played college football. I know, a shocker to you. I appreciate Tramell being like, oh, that's a little surprising. How different is it, pardon me, from a conceptual defense perspective about what you're going up against? I mean, Buchholz doesn't play bad schools. They'll play some, solid programs. Or I'm sorry, Mandarin High School. What does it look like from a defense perspective? Is it 100% harder? Is it like 200% harder? Like, what is in your mind the biggest difference? And Jordan, feel free to chime in as well.
I would say the biggest difference is disguises. How many ways the defense can disguise something. Like at the college level, you look at the front. The front can tell you what the back end coverage is going to be, but we call something called scab. We look at the safeties, then we look at the corners, then we look at the apex defenders, then we look at the backers, and that pretty much tells you what you're going to do. But in high school, I mean, guys are just out there playing freely. Sometimes, like you can look at the defense and you might think it's something. It could be totally different because guys are just really doing their own thing. But in college, when you see a tell, when you see an indicator that might be the defense, that's what it's gonna be. That's just what it's gonna be.
Dope, man.
But
you
these
speak
guys
well.
pretty much.
Go ahead.
I just want to kind of give you just a little piece of advice. I'm not sure if you're where you at on the depth chart as far as practice goes. If you're going against a scout team, if you are the scout team and going against the one defense, but if you are, don't get discouraged. That's not going to mean that you're not going to play. I honestly have a lot of belief and faith in you. I believe that you are that guy and you will be that guy in the future. So use that time, man, to go against SEC defense. As you know, our defense is really good and getting better year in year. So use that time, man, to study your stuff. Obviously, do what the coach is saying as far as the script goes and the scout team stuff, but work on your craft. Read the defense like you're saying and, make them boys better, man, because I feel like is as important as DJ Lagway is to this team, you are important if you are going against the scout team defense, because I need you to make them boys be ready for this week coming up, going against whatever quarterback we're going against, because you've been picking them apart all week. I need you to be in there talking crazy. Like, man, I've been doing y'all in all week. Them boys going to kill y'all on Saturday. You feel me? Like, that's how I want you to be popping your stuff on them boys. You feel me? Just as a former Gator, I want to make sure that I'm getting the message across as the standard as we set. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you're a young man. I feel like from hearing you talk, I'm excited. You got a good head on your shoulders. I like the competitiveness in you, and I think you have a bright future with us, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
No man, I gotta ask this, man, because I know the people gonna want to know who's your favorite to throw to out of that freshman trio, man.
You put him on the spot like that.
Shoot, I gotta say all of them. I can't give it to one person because they all different receivers.
Yeah, everybody different types. I can agree with that.
Dallas the big receiver. Nason, he's finesse. 6'1", 6'2". He can go up and get the ball. He can run routes. He's shifty. He can rap to the catch. You got Vernell. Vernell can go after the ball. He can go up for the ball. He's shifty, quick, fast. And then you also got Muiz. You can't forget about Muiz. Muiz like 6'4". Yeah. He like 6'4". He can run routes. He can block. He's physical. So I mean, all those guys. I mean, it would be great. They just got to keep their head on their shoulders, stay in the playbook, and just do what the coach asks them to do.
Dallas Wilson's like an Autobot. My guy is just gigantic.
Nick's gonna pick a guy for you, man.
Yeah.
I just met Muiz. We did onboarding a couple weeks ago. Just met him. Kept calling me sir. I was like, my guy, I get it. You're from Texas, but like, makes me feel old. You gotta drop that sir.
You are old, Nick. I mean, that's great.
Just Nick, dog.
Tramell, what kind of music you listening to?
I like R&B music. I like raw wave. I'm a mixture.
Okay.
It depends on the mood of the day. It depends on how I'm feeling. But before the game, something like that. I like to listen to calm music. Don't want to go out to the game being all over hype, trying to do things that you wouldn't normally do. So
I like that. I was afraid you were gonna say
Repeat
that
legend,
Jacksonville
by the
drill
way.
music, bro.
nah.
NBA young boy. I don't know what his music sounds like, but apparently
I
that's
don't
what the
need that in
kids
my
are listening
quarterback's
to.
ear. I don't need it. I don't
No.
need that type of energy in my
You need
quarterback's
some
ear.
positivity. You know what I mean?
Yes, calm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Tramell, I'm very, very excited that you flipped to the University of Florida. We're very excited about your future career at the University of Florida, man. Best of luck with everything. Go follow him on social media, man, and best of luck this upcoming season. And hopefully we get you on here soon and talk about the progression you made, man. But you got a lot of Gator fans that are rooting for you, and we're super excited that you ended up in the orange and blue.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Tramell.
No problem. Appreciate.
All right, guys.
Just slay.
3 interviews down.
Just saying.
Yeah,
Guy
Tramell got that
guy on the Florida
NIL
Victorious
Wi-Fi.
roster.
Yeah, that boy shit
Wi-Fi.
was good and clear.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
On the FB roster, ain't no Wi-Fi problems.
I
NIL, man.
I saw
Let
the
us get
kitchen
involved in
behind
some
him
recruiting.
looked very different than my kitchen over at
Okay.
Stone Ridge in Gainesville.
Okay.
When I was
So
a
you're- I
student,
thought you meant
or
your
when I was
current
a
kitchen.
student. Yeah, when I was a student athlete playing intramural football, safety, 70% of the water was covered by, or 70% of the earth was covered by water.
The water
30%
cooler.
covered by Dan Thompson. Ended my career with 2 interceptions in the same game. Thought I could never do that again, so I retired after that.
75% of this water bottle was covered by Dan Thompson.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Oh man. Now that NIL hit different, man. The boy had an island stove in the background, a little marble, like nice little countertops, steady, strong Wi-Fi. You feel me? I appreciate that.
We've got 2,200 people watching right now. Hit the
Nice.
retweet button, hit the like button, comment, super chat, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Let's go through the Desmond Green, Justin Williams, and Tramell Jones interviews real quick, and we're going to welcome Christian Garcia, who's now a coach with the Arizona Cardinals, in the next 7 to 10 minutes here. What'd you guys take away?
Impressive. I would say like they speak well. Like Billy does a good job, man. I spoke to you. I heard Desmond and Ray and those guys space last night, and I was like, man, the kid speaks well, so I expect them to come in and provide some good content. And yeah, he was. They speak well. They're doing a good job vetting these guys out, is what I would say. They fit a certain mold, come from a different cloth, or a certain cloth, I would say. So good gets on both a talent wise, but also just the way they speak, present themselves, articulate themselves. All that was real good. Same with Tramell. Tramell is super impressive with the way he speak and the way he carry himself.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jordan.
I was just saying, yeah, I've definitely like what I was hearing from all the guys, man. Like just from hearing that how comfortable all the coaches make them, like just hearing that's the reason why you commit, and like that speaks volumes, because that's half the battle right there, is building that relationship with those guys. Obviously, they were open at one point and letting all these coaches kind of jazz them up, but we managed to stick through that. So I love to hear that, and I love to see the guys have like good head on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like you can tell the difference when somebody come on here and they're just a little bit out of whack versus they're actually a good human being and just want to do better. Like I love that the big boy was just talking about ball. He ready to play ball. He loved coach because he all about ball. So that's the type of stuff you want to hear come from like incoming guys. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's obviously resonating, right? Like the messaging from whether it's Sale or DeCoster, right? It's resonating. Whether it's with Billy Gonzalez or Jabbar Jalouk, it's resonating, right? With these guys. Billy Napier, his track record of putting guys in the NFL or developing those, there's a track record that these guys are seeing, and that's ultimately why they're committing to the University of Florida. And we're going to talk a little bit about recruiting towards the end of the program if we have time. There's a lot of people freaking out right now about recruiting because they lost one guy. But I think at the end of the day, the message is resonating because the results are there, right? Multiple guys in the NFL, a lot of guys in the NFL because of Billy Gonzalez, multiple guys from Florida in the NFL, from Rob Sale and Jonathan DeCoster, right? And an All-American, and multiple guys in the NFL with Graham Mertz and Anthony Richardson under Billy Napier, and DJ Lagway's next. And Tramell Jones obviously saw that instead of getting recruited over at Florida State by some sort of super senior.
Word. Nah, great stuff, man.
Okay.
I had a chance last week. We had Tramell talking to the members at Florida Victorious. Dan, that reminds me, I gotta get you.
Please do, yeah, fix that.
So like, since he was down in South Florida, dang, I told him about the Spadas. Dan, I tried to put him on game. Forgot to
tell him about the Spadas.
What do you know about La Spadas?
Hey, private school teach you some things.
Yeah. Corey doesn't know anything about La Spadas. Got that West.
I don't feel left out either, man. I'm Palm Beach County, whatever that means, man. You
greatest weirdos in all of the land.
And it's a show. Get that Italian. They throw the meat topper. No Diddy pause. Throw them.
They throwing meat around. I don't want to be there.
All right, we've got a show title: Meat Topper.
Meat. That's crazy.
You said it.
Got a chance. So like we, since he was down in South Florida, we were just like on StreamYard like this while he's answering the questions. Super down to earth, really get head on his shoulders. Yeah, like ready to come work. I think, when Jordan, I thought that was some pretty dope real talk that you just gave him there. Cause like he knows he's not QB1. You have to move a damn mountain or Dan would have to get his wish and there'd just be an injury.
Exactly.
Relax, man.
Relax. I had multiple people reach out to me. I had my friend group that is now listening because they heard me criticize the Panthers, and they were also like, "Hey, I appreciate you having the conversation about what would happen if."
They didn't say that. They didn't. Say By the way, we did re-sign all three of our guys, Dan. So.
Yeah, I mean, congrats to signing Brad Marchand to a 6-year deal at almost 38 years old. Hey, shout out to you guys.
Repeat.
Repeat.
But he understands, like he gets it. He knows the work, excited for the work, and just like from sitting there chopping up with him for an hour while he's answering these questions, like really good kid, good family.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what you kind of see about a lot of these guys, right? Like good head on their shoulders, got it figured out, kind of laser focused.
Yeah. These kids look getting caught up in. I know we give this generation a hard time, but like I am impressed, like overall with the way these, young boys is handling NIL, like all this empowerment on its totality, not just even UF, bro. I think you can see a shift of maturity in some ways. With this new bunch of kids, and before the recruiting and the portal stuff, they're gonna get a little, it comes down to just that bread. But I think in its totality, they all handling it very well, bro.
Sorry,
he knew exactly. He knew exactly what I was talking about too, because I remember Googling him for something, and the first picture that pops up is FSU. I'm like, that's got to eat at you.
Yeah, I Googled it when I saw it. I didn't want to say nothing, but I was like, that's that.
We gotta find somebody who works at Google. Like, hey man, this is slanderous.
It'll be gone.
Slanderous.
Do we get a commit, press and carry or something?
No, he committed to Georgia. So he was a heavy crystal ball to Florida, originally from Long Island, I believe, plays at IMG Academy right now. 6'4", 305 pounds. He did commit to Georgia.
Very nice. The D tackle boy. I don't know if we about to talk recruiting, but D tackle boy.
No. Yeah. We're gonna bring Christian Garcia on the show real quick, and then we can talk a little bit about that. How does that sound? Cool. Before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at Game Time Sidekicks. if you want a cool Gator Boys cup like this, or if you want a cup that Jordan or Corey are holding up, Nick has held it up in the past. I think he's texting right now. Go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com. Maybe Nick doesn't have it. Go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com. Use promo code Stadium15 to get 15% off of your order. Go support a Gator fan living in Knoxville, Tennessee. It'll keep your hot drinks hot and your cold drinks cold. I brought this all the way up from Tampa to Steinhatchee, put ice in it. There was ice still in it 3 hours later. So go visit GameTimeSidekicks.com. Use promo code Stadium15 and you will get 15% off of your order. Now joining us is going to be former Florida Gators linebacker Christian Garcia, who went from walk-on to team captain during his tenure in Gainesville, a guy known for his hustle, spent last season with the Dallas Cowboys as an assistant defensive backs and quality control coach, and is now with the Arizona Cardinals as their inside linebackers coach. Christian, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for joining us today.
What's up, fellas? Appreciate you guys having me, man. It feels good to be back with Gator Nation. You know, there's a lot of us out there, but being in the football world, man, you don't see a lot of them. So it's awesome to be here.
Absolutely. Well, Christian,
were you real quick on that note? Were you with Sharif Floyd last year? Was he with Dallas, or did he go to Washington?
So he was actually in Washington, but I was with Brian Schottenheimer, who played for Spurrier back in the day. So he's the head coach now for Dallas. So that was one of the few Gators I've been around in my journey. Gotcha. So that was awesome.
Christian, I want to talk a little bit about your story. Jordan, we appreciate you for bringing Christian onto the show. You walked on to the University of Florida. Talk to us a little bit about your story in high school and then coming on as a walk-on to the University of Florida. And then what point, this is a very long-winded and it's going to require you to have a long answer here. At what point did you think hey, this is going to really work out for me as a walk-on to actually playing at the University of Florida?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is a long-winded journey, especially since I went to 3 schools before I actually ever went to the University of Florida. So out of high school, you know what I mean? I started playing football at a young age, started playing Little League football, Pop Warner at 9 years old. Ended up playing in high school, obviously not highly recruited. Ended up signing with a Division II school in Canton, Ohio called Malone University. After a semester of playing there, ended up at Florida Tech for another semester. And the Division II stuff, I enjoy playing football. That's what I love to do. But my dream, my entire time playing Little League football, high school football, was to play Division I, big time football. So I ended up transferring to Santa Fe Community College after those 2 semesters. And I knew I wanted to walk on, but I couldn't transfer to UF until I had that associate's degree. So I got connected with Rue, who's actually still the director of video there at the University of Florida. So I was a video guy for a whole year at Santa Fe Community College, but looking for that opportunity to walk on while I was getting that associate's degree. So during that time, I got connected with George Wynn, who was the director of football operations at the time.
Wow. Yeah.
And he was like, hey, man, you're not accepted in a school yet. I know what you plan on doing, but once you get accepted, first day come August, stop by my office and maybe you have an opportunity to try out and walk onto the team. So eventually that's what I did after that year at Santa Fe Community College. And there happened to be a walk-on tryout. It was probably a couple weeks before the season started, that first week of school. It was about 7 or 8 of us that tried out. Ended up making the team, which was obviously a goal of mine, that when I was at Santa Fe Community College, people would laugh at me. I'd be in there training in the gym, running sprints, and people were like, dude, this guy's at Santa Fe. He ain't going to play for the Gators. You know what I mean? That's a little brother feeder school. So, of course, delusional me, I didn't care about it. I just kept to my grind. And then, so really going back to the second part of that question, once I actually walked on the team, when I thought it would work out, once I started practicing, obviously I was filming the Gators from afar for about a year, and I'm like, man, those guys are so cool. They're so big, so fast, so strong, 5-star recruits. I had no stars. I looked at it through this scope that was like, I didn't deserve to be on that field. And the second you go out there and play football, you realize this is what I've done my whole life. Mm-hmm. So being on that offensive scout team field and practicing against the ones and being like, man, this is just football. I've done this my whole life. And it never really felt like a jump. The game slowed down after a few practices, and I just felt like I could do it from that point. And then luckily, circumstances worked out where I got an opportunity to play.
You're filming, and you're like, man, that 2.5 is so slow. I don't know why.
Just
They're handing him the ball off. If I met him in the hole, it'd be over. I'd be first string. Like, let me get a rep against 2.5.
No, that was not the case. I still have a memory. We used to do this thing called fastballs with Coach Mack. I'm sure you remember, Scarlett, where it was the first period of practice, and it was like 5 plays
Oh, we
as
know it's
fast as
fast.
possible. And I remember I had a clean run through in the hole with Scarlett. And I'm like, I'm going to light this dude up. Next thing I know, I closed my eyes, I opened them, and he was gone. I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah.
He shook me out of my shoes.
Mm.
Yeah, we
Christian,
remember that period because that was the only period that we would get access to, like the media would get access to. So that would be the only thing talked about on the message boards was that fastball period.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody wrote about that, man. 56 got his ankles broke.
Christian, did you grow up a Gator fan, or was it more of an opportunity for yourself? Or
You want to hear the truth?
I do, yeah.
So growing up in Miami, I was a Hurricanes fan growing up.
Okay.
But Miami being a private school, and as much as it costs, and not having a scholarship, the opportunity to go to Gainesville was a lot more accessible. So obviously you end up playing for the Gators. Now I'm a Gator fan. So crystal ball, those guys down south, kick rocks.
That's what I've always said.
Straight up.
Hey, Christian, who's in your corner when you're trying to complete this whole endeavor? You know, you talked about like the guys at the gym being haters, like who's this kid about to trying to make the Florida team, but who's in your corner support system wise?
Yeah, so I had a best friend of mine who played with me at Florida Tech. His name is Cesar Castillo, and we both actually transferred to Santa Fe Community College at the same time. So we both left after that second semester. We both had the same goal for ourselves, and he actually ended up walking on at the University of Miami and playing fullback over there. So we spent that whole year training together at Santa Fe Community College. We were roommates, didn't have a lot of money. Our protein packed meal after a workout was brown rice and 2 cans of tuna. Like we were just trying to make it. So that was really my guy, my corner, and we both had the same vision for ourselves. And he actually ended up walking on at Miami, and he's an assistant strength coach for the Washington Commanders in the NFL. So it's cool how we've kind of been on this journey together. And then along with that, my now wife was my girlfriend at the time, went to UF. So those were the 2 people that were kind of my support system during that time.
Christian, I want to ask you, so I try to get some of your journey online. Some of it is just, it's kind of hard to follow. So so after you graduated, you were a GA with Georgia Tech. Is that right?
So I was a GA with UNLV for 2 years.
Okay.
Then Georgia Tech for a year, and then hopped into the NFL.
Talk to us about that transition, because I think a lot of people are kind of confused or like just curious, right? So you're a walk-on, you become a team captain, you graduate, and you're like, all right, what's next for me? You probably start to apply for a lot of different jobs. UNLV says, hey, we're ready to welcome you. And then there's like a lot of steps after that. So how do you go from UNLV to ultimately becoming, a coach in the NFL?
Yeah, absolutely. So right after that season in 2017, I knew I wanted to stay around the game of football. I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. I still ultimately had dreams to keep playing. So I was training for Pro Day at the time at UF with the new strength staff that came in with Mullen. They were kind enough to train me, get me ready for Pro Day. But in the middle of all that, I got a call from Tim Skipper, who was my linebackers coach at the time. He was Scarlett's RB coach for a couple years. So Skip was like, hey, man, the NFL ain't looking for a bunch of 6'1", 5-flat linebackers. So how about you come to UNLV and come coach and be a GA for me? So he luckily had that vision for me and what that future could hold for me in coaching. So ultimately I hung it up. I was probably clocking 5-flat 40s, and I said, I'm going to be a coach.
Same.
Yeah, same. So,
no, I think y'all lying. 6 was hitting 5-flat. Y'all about to do 6-flat, fam.
What's a second? It's just a second.
Yeah, I mean, what is
exactly,
second?
Man? It's instincts in the box. That's what matters. You
That,
get me on the wheel route.
She said.
Yeah.
It's all between
What
I mean? It's all between the ears.
All between the ears, man, until they get you in the open field.
No, but so you get a call from Tim Skipper, you get that opportunity, but then like what does it look like progression wise? I mean, obviously a lot of it is networking, but like
absolutely.
How do you prove yourself from GA to like I can do this, and then you go to quality control. And then the Arizona Cardinal, I mean, there's not a lot of opportunities in the NFL to be an inside linebackers coach, right? Like there's 32 opportunities and you have one of those. Like, how did you get there?
Absolutely. I think one of the best advice I got early in my coaching career was dominate your role, right? So as quickly as possible, show whoever is your superior that you're going to excel, dominate, be elite at your current role. And after you've done that, don't be satisfied there. You got to show them that you can take the next step and be that person that they can count on when that promotion comes available or something else along the line. You know what I mean? So a lot of people get caught into the realm of, okay, I'm going to be an elite graduate assistant and an elite QC, which means dominate the breakdowns, dominate drawing the playbook on Visio or PowerPoint. But people want to see that you can expand beyond that kind of role because it requires a different skill set. So ultimately, that was the approach I took when I got to UNLV with Coach Skip. I just dominated that initial role, which was Skip was like, hey, here's the playbook we had at UF. Can you draw that on Visio? I'd never used Visio in my life, but I figured it out. And then from that point was just saying, okay, this is what I'm doing now, but this isn't ultimately what I want to do. So I looked at my weaknesses. I'm like, okay, I know linebacker play. I want to go study D-line play, DB play, and I want to make myself well-versed in everything that's going on within the scheme. So when you get into the season and you're game planning and people are asking for suggestions or anything's going on, you want to be able to have that knowledge to supply an answer or a suggestion that may work on the field. And they're like, hey, this guy might know what he's doing. He might be capable of more than being a QC or a GA. And then also getting yourself comfortable around the players. Ultimately, this profession is about player development. And if you show that you can add value to a guy's career, they're going to gravitate to you. So when the players are naturally gravitated to a certain coach, people can look at that guy and be like, what is he doing to help those guys get better? So ultimately, that's the approach I've taken. And like you said, there's one of 32 opportunities to be a linebackers coach in the NFL. So I do not take that lightly. I'm first one in, last one out. And I know that's a cliche thing, but a lot of people don't do it. Like, that's just the first step. And it's having a plan to attack your day when you walk in that building. Because you can go in there first one, last out, but did you have a plan in how you were going to grow and maximize yourself or maximize your position group? So I know that was a lot of coach speak, but that's kind of how I got to where I'm at today.
You're a coach now.
You're a lunch pail guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coach's kid, lunch pail, deceptively fast.
Yeah, so 2 years at UNLV with Skip. Then after those 2 years, Jeff Collins gives me a call, who was our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And
Minister of Mayhem.
Minister of Mayhem, man. Super, super grateful for him for giving me an opportunity to GA at Georgia Tech. And then a third Gator connection comes in. I'm GAing at Georgia Tech. It's about May time. And Luke Del Rio gives me a call out of the blue. He's like, hey, my dad has a spot open here in Washington to be a defensive assistant. We're going to interview about 5 or 6 guys, but I gave him your name. Would you be interested? Of course, I was a GA at the time at Georgia Tech. Who wouldn't be interested? So Luke ended up getting me connected with his dad and taking that same approach. The reason I actually ended up getting that first job in the NFL is because the second I heard I was getting that interview, I watched all of Washington's season from the year before, and I broke down their defense. And I essentially created Jack Del Rio's call sheet from my lens. And I literally had a full 10-page study on the Washington Commanders defense, detailing out every single position and their technique and what Jack was calling and when he was calling it. And that was before the interview even started. So luckily, I think I had the interview won before I even got on that Zoom call. So that's kind of been my approach throughout, and spent 3 years in Washington.
That's awesome, man.
Then from there, we got fired after those 3 years. Fortunately for me, though, I went defensive assistant, quality control, assistant DBs. And by my final year there in Washington, I got promoted to defensive backs coach midway through the season.
How's your back
Playing
pedal?
linebacker was unusual. And then after that, ended up in Dallas, and then now in Arizona.
How's your back pedal?
Not great. I can definitely demonstrate it well at about 30%. But the Achilles they get tight once you get older. I just hit 30 recently, so not trying to test that Achilles.
Are you teaching more just scheme at that level more than like technique?
So I think I hate to say older generation, newer generation. I do think the older generation of NFL coaches been around, and the newer generation of guys that I've been around are a lot more technique centric. And you teach the technique, and then each technique will fall into a bucket of certain calls. Well, I may teach you middle runner technique in cover two, but we may have 7 different versions of cover two where you play that same technique. So I think that's where the game is now trending with all the variability within scheme. So I think now it's trending a lot more towards technique, but when I first entered the league, it felt a lot more scheme heavy.
The league is getting younger and younger, so I imagine there's more teaching than there probably was back, 15 years ago. But you look at these rosters, and it's like 28. You're being called pops on in a locker room now in the NFL, depending on the position.
It really is, man. The window to play is so short. And it's funny. We just signed Calais Campbell, who's actually 38. He might be like the oldest non-specialist quarterback.
Miami Dolphins legend.
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool to be walking around the halls and I see 38-year-old Calais Campbell, and I'm 30 years old over here coaching linebacker. I'm like, what can you teach me, dog?
Yeah. Hey. What kind of coach are you? Are you sneakers on the grass or cleats on the grass?
Definitely, I'm in sneakers, man. I'm not pulling out the cleats. I wasn't good enough to play in the league, so I don't need to put them on out there in front of those guys. I can demonstrate well enough with the sneakers on. But in terms of coaching style, man, it comes down to connect, teach, and motivate. At the end of the day, first you want to connect with your guys, show them you care about them, show them you can add value. Be an elite teacher, because ultimately, if I can make something that is very difficult sound very easy, then I'm doing good at my job in terms of teaching. And then motivation looks differently at every level. Whether you need to be a yeller that day, you need to push somebody's buttons. I don't know what Scarlett needed. I know Skip may needed to rip his ass some mornings, or maybe not. But motivation looks different in terms of each individual player, and that's really my approach as a coach.
Hey, Christian,
So,
go ahead.
Real quick, Jordan. We're all a product of the people and circumstances and our past. Who are the coaches that have poured into you that you find yourself? You said, like, when you start saying something, you're like, damn, I sound like my dad. Or like, damn, my uncle used to tell me that. Who are some of the coaches as you're working? Are you like, damn, Skip said that when we were at UNLV, or damn, Coach Collins said that when we were at Georgia Tech? Who are some coaches that you find what they've done for you is now seeping into your coaching and what you're doing?
Yeah, it's hard to just say one or two, because it's honestly, it's such a culmination of all of them. I'll start first with the guys at Florida, man. Randy Shannon was an elite linebackers coach. I loved Coach Shannon. That would be like the confidence that he instilled. Like, I may have been a 6'1", 5'5" linebacker, but I felt like Ray Lewis when I walked out there on that field.
You're a Randy special though, Christian. So yeah, I know he treated you special, man. He like Randy specials, man.
Yeah, man, I love Randy. And then obviously Skip and Coach Collins, learned a lot from them in terms of my entry-level positions. And then in the league, Jack Del Rio was phenomenal. I know he gets a certain rap in the media for being a crusty old dude, but he is a phenomenal coach, phenomenal person, regardless of his political views. but Jack was phenomenal to me, and a lot of my coaching philosophies come from him. Ron Rivera, he's been an NFL coach for over a decade, and he treated me like I was his nephew, man. The way that he took me in and wanted to mentor me. Was around Mike Zimmer last year for a year, who's a legend in the NFL coaching community. Zim was wise beyond his years, so he was another one that I look back upon that it's like, man, I've had so many people to learn from.
Hey, Christian, real quick question, man. Are you following the Gator football program these days?
So I follow it from like a macro perspective. I look at the wins, the losses, watch the games when I can, but I can't say I'm too knee deep in Gator football right now, especially with our schedule and how it meshes with the time of year.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you what you thought about the defense, but I get it, man. You got your own defense to run right now, man.
No doubt. From afar, man, it looked like they took a big step from the previous year, from 2023 to 2024. Obviously, Coach Roberts has done a phenomenal job everywhere he's been. And I know the scheme very well because I've been around a lot of the coaches who run that scheme. And I know it's tried and true, and there's a lot of multiplicity. So it's hard to get it done without the Jimmies and Joes. It looks like that's on the right track.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they figured that part out. We'll see how it all translates this fall, but they definitely figured out the talent acquisition.
Yeah, man.
But Chris, let me get you one more question. I'm gonna kind of go back here a little bit. Your time at UF, I know you had your famous story for saving a girl at Midtown and stuff like that. If you feel comfortable, take us through a little bit of how that went and stuff like that and how you felt about it. I know it was a real viral moment. It was on the news and all that stuff there. So
Yeah, absolutely. So during, I think it was the summer of 2016, I was still a walk-on at the time at the University of Florida. So I was bouncing at Cantina, which was a bar out there in Midtown, and it was a Wednesday night.
Where?
First off, shout out Cantina.
Exactly. Shout out Cantina. And I was finishing up. Usually at the end of the night, I would throw out the trash around 2:30 a.m. The bars closed at 2. And as I was, walking back there to throw out the trash, I witnessed what was going on. And me and one of the other bouncers, we saw it. And at first it was like, oh, that's funny. And then we kind of realized what was going on. And from that point, we intervened with the situation, which I guess looking back upon it, it's not something that people do often. And I was a Gator football player, so it got a lot of notoriety. But at the end of the day, man, it just felt like that was what was right to do in that moment.
And I was big time.
Yeah, I remember we talked. I think they made you like available to media. After the event happened. And you're right. Like I've told kids before who are at Florida, I'm like, hey, everything you do is under a microscope. Like I can get a speeding ticket and no one cares, but you get one because you play for the Gators, someone's going to care. So, but what I wanted to ask was like, that's a dangerous situation. You don't know, like something dangerous is happening, something wrong is happening, and you ran towards it. What I guess it compelled you? Obviously you said like, hey, like that something looks off there. But what compelled you to intervene aside from that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to describe, I guess, those feelings in the moment, especially being so long ago, but definitely just your subconscious feeling once you see that happening, you're like, you wouldn't want that to be your sister or your daughter or your mother. That's not right. That shouldn't be happening. And let's step in and intervene from this situation. So ultimately, I've related to it as a moral compass. I think we all have that inside of us. We know what's right and what's wrong. And fortunately, in that moment, me and the gentleman who was bouncing with me at the time, we stepped in and intervened.
Well, Christian, we appreciate your time today. And certainly if you don't know, Christian won the It's On Us Courage Award for everything that happened in 2016. And he was one of the 3 inaugural recipients of that award with Vice President Joe Biden at the time. So certainly a harrowing experience. And, I think puts a really cool, cool is probably not the right word, but a very noble cap or a feather in your cap for your time at the University of Florida and your contribution. I know and remember looking back on those years you played at Florida was your hustle and your always being around the play, whether you made the impact or not. You were there and you were a hustler and you made an impact. And it's no surprise to me to watch the success that you've had post-graduation, man. And we certainly wish you the best of luck with the Arizona Cardinals and your future NFL career, man. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on, and we look forward to having you on maybe after the season and kind of see how your first year at Arizona went.
Come back when you're at DC too.
It's not wrong, Christian, until people are going to start saying, hey, we need to do DC. And they're like, well, we got the former Gator, Christian Garcia. He's with the Arizona Cardinals, right? And that's just how this works. All the Gator fans just want former Gators to be on staff. So who knows where your future might be, man. But to say you're only 30 and to be in the spot that you're in is a pretty incredible spot, man. So congratulations to your success.
No, I appreciate you guys having me, man, and thank you for those words. It means a lot to be around a bunch of fellow Gators, and who knows, man? My wife's a Gator. I'm a Gator. My son watched the national championship game a month ago, and he was saying "Go Gators" in front of the TV. So maybe I'll be back someday. Who knows, man?
Absolutely. You'll be hearing from us next time we hiring, brother. You ain't got to worry about it. The fans gonna find you, my boy. We're gonna find you.
tried to hit up Coach Napier this offseason, man. It didn't end up working out though, but
we'll get you.
It'll
We'll
work
get
out.
you in
It'll
touch.
work out in Arizona.
We'll get you in touch.
100%, my guy.
Well, we appreciate you, Christian. Best of luck with everything, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, see him.
All right.
Take care, brother.
Christian Garcia. Boys, a lot of interviews today. I'm kind of spent.
That was fire. I like that, man.
Real quick, I wanted to ask him this question because I looked it up, but we ended on a serious note. I know. We ended on a serious note, so I'm deferring it till later.
Okay.
Shenanigans of after. Can you guess how many quarterbacks Christian Garcia was there for 3 years? How many quarterbacks the University of Florida had while Christian Garcia?
Starting quarterbacks?
Yes.
So he was there
because I went back
17, 16, 15.
I went back and like Antonio Callaway, Johnny Townsend, Alvin Bailey, and Demarcus Robinson had pass attempts, but I'm guessing those are
they're like trick plays.
Yeah. How many
real deal quarterbacks?
What is Nick doing? This is an unserious podcast right now. What are you doing, Nicholas?
6 is the answer. Can you name them?
Good guess by Dan the Man.
I don't want to. That's not trauma
come on
bond
now.
here.
Austin Appleby.
we are bonded by our trauma. Appleby,
Luke Del Rio.
He was there in 15 with Will Greer.
Trayon.
Okay.
No Trayon.
No
Will Greer. Who was with
Oh,
Will
yeah,
Greer?
no, Trayon was there. Yeah, Trayon was
What are you talking about?
7's the number. Florida has gotten rid of Trayon Harris's page completely. Trayon's there. Sorry.
Yeah, Trayon was definitely there.
Man, I told a lot of lies about Treon Harris, man.
I want to get him on 5, bro. Like, for real.
The Tampa dude.
Josh Grady is the name you're
Josh
looking for.
Grady.
Josh Grady.
I thought you were talking about Malik.
What a character.
Yeah. So in 15, it was Trayon Harris, Will Greer, Josh
What
Grady.
a guy.
16 was only 2.
Who was your favorite in that
Appleby
bunch?
Del Rio. 17, Frank Zaire, Luke Del Rio.
Yes,
Darius Toney had 2 pass attempts. Favorite is obviously Will Greer in that group. Will has told me he will come on the pod for years. I got to get Will on the pod.
It's time to bring him on, Nick. I don't think, is he still in the NFL or no?
Still with Dallas, baby.
Yeah, he's still dabbling around, man, collecting them checks. Yeah.
Christian has a connection. Maybe we reach out to Christian. Christian reaches out to Will because Nick obviously can't pull his weight there, Jordan.
Yeah.
We're gonna try something. We'll get it figured out. I ain't even hit a Billy G. That made sense right there.
Will G would go platinum. For sure.
It gotta be no steroids vibes though.
No.
Oh, we gotta talk about it a little bit.
We know he didn't do steroids. We just know
gotta talk about it a little bit. I at least want to talk about it, man. Like, he broke my heart.
Wait till he's out of the NFL,
bit, bro. Like, we ain't
gotta
dive too deep. Hey, man, where did you get it from? Was it over the counter? Like, what happened, my boy?
Was it GNC? Was it GNC?
Was it GNC? Were you that sloppy, man? Come on, man.
Yeah.
What did McElwain tell you in the office, man? Did he really say, you weren't gonna get the job when you get back? Like, I need to know all of that.
We got Jim, who's retired now, and Will on the same show.
We should try to reach out to Jim McElwain.
Jim might be mad at me because I told him I like Mullen better.
No, he doesn't listen to the program. I looked at the data. Jim McElwain is not listening to the show.
Let's reach out to McElwain, man.
Yeah. Hey, Jordan, reach out to Mac. Ask him, hey, I'm making a peanut butter and jelly for my kid. What's the recipe? And then he'll give you one and be like, by the way, do you want to come on the Florida?
Jordan, did you ever get a PB&J in the coach's office?
Like peanut butter, so I would have never even.
Not in the circle. Here's the circle, and here's Jordan somewhere up here. I know he had a visor, but he had no PB&J.
Yeah, I was about to say all I cared about was my visor. As long as I was in the circle visor, I was good to go. You can miss me with PB&J.
McElwain was a wild boy. That boy said he could teach his dog how to play quarterback, and then we got 6 random guys that couldn't play it well.
That was his problem. He thought he can just pop anybody into a perfect situation.
But they were getting recruiting. They were starting to figure recruiting out before they were.
Yeah, I mean,
he was evaluating well. I would say he was evaluating.
Jamar Chase.
they were really good at evaluating because that's something that you would see. It would be like Florida would offer someone, the whole fan base would be like, who's this 3-star scrub? And then all of a sudden it'd be like Georgia offer, Alabama offer, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan.
Then
like,
Yeah, he definitely was good at getting guys. Bro.
Mac was just a scouting service. Everyone else was like, wait.
Mac did a great job. He recruited a Kansas commit in Jamar Chase that ended up doing okay for himself.
I think Jamar Chase would have ended up at Florida had McElwain and them.
Can you imagine Jamar Chase had Kansas and Jordan Scarlett at FAU? What the trajectory of those programs would have
been.
Shoot, we would have had another championship.
Who would have, Florida or Kansas or FAU?
I watched this show with Kevin Hart and Lamar Jackson and get in the cold tub, and this dude
champ would have stayed. Lamar Jackson would have been at Florida.
All the quarterback would have been out the window.
I've been saying that, bro. We were so close, but they were trying to get Francois, bro, and they dropped the ball.
Yeah,
I was at the SEC championship, and Florida was not that close. Nick,
what happened?
Taking the snaps.
Lamar Jackson changes everything. Like, I don't want to go into like domino effect and butterfly effect type stuff, but Lamar Jackson, McElwain probably still be here.
Lamar Jackson was on a podcast the other day saying if it wasn't for Jim McElwain, he'd be at Florida.
Yeah,
if Muschamp would have stayed, I think Florida would have got it.
Oh, so I'm sorry. I thought you said McElwain. Muschamp.
If
McElwain, they had him. I'm telling you what it came down like behind the scenes. It came down. They chased Francois down the stretch, and that turned them off. Right, the offer came from Muschamp and those guys. You get the new coach come in. We was close to flipping Francois, but Chris Winkie goes back and makes sure Francois stays with Florida State. Francois was like the blue chip at the time. Lamar was like a 3-star. Francois was like, I think, like a mid 95, 94 type rank.
Yeah, he was pretty highly ranked.
He was highly ranked. So they was trying to go get the killer. And I was advocating at that time. I was the biggest Lamar Jackson fan. I still got the tweets from high school, bro.
From the crib.
And he said
I think we got one now too, bro. Like sleeping on. I forgot to tweet this today, but I think Jiren, I'm forgetting his last name, Siler's nephew, that's at Cardinal Newman.
Yeah.
Yes, your boy. I think the big three is gonna regret not offering that boy. I think he's gonna be one of them ones, man. Like,
I think so too. Muck boy. What city?
For sure.
All right,
but
guys,
enough of that.
Anywho, we've got a lot to talk about. So next week we're going to talk about running backs. We're going to get another interview or two. Today we didn't necessarily expect 4. It just kind of happened that way, right?
Sometimes you're just hot, you know.
Sometimes you're hot. So we appreciate Desmond Green, Justin Williams, Tramell Jones, and Christian Garcia. The one that's getting paid by Florida Victorious is the one that had the best internet today. So if you're listening, sorry for the audio issues. Wasn't our bad. Our audio all worked out well today. But we do want to give one final shout out to our friends over at Alumni Hall. Go visit alumnihall.com or go visit them in Gainesville, Florida, right on Archer Road, just past the Chick-fil-A there on the, north side of the road if you're going eastbound off the highway. So go visit them. Anything that you could want. There's not a lot of holidays coming up, but we're almost to that point in time. I think we are just past that point where Christmas is now closer than it is further away. So go visit alumnihall.com. Start thinking about those gifts for the loved ones in your life. alumnihall.com, or go visit them in Gainesville, Florida on Archer Road. Nick, I think you have Song of the Week. What was funny is Nick's going to think about Song of the Week here in a second. My aunt randomly played is it Weatherman? No.
Weatherman.
Yeah, randomly played the Weatherman song. I said, hey, can you start over so I can take a quick video? Took a video, sent it to the boys. Nick responded back in the pool playing the same song. So glad that we are on the same page. But Nick,
your grandma and niggas in the same algorithm.
My aunt.
Your aunt.
Yeah. Shout out to my aunt. Former postmaster of Micanopy, Florida.
We're gonna go with something old. I'm just like scrolling through an old playlist.
Lots of mail delivered to the Cafe Risque.
Here's an old one. This goes back to like me being in high school.
Okay.
It's Beethoven's set. Just kidding. Cross That Line, Rick Ross and Akon.
Okay. Cross That Line, Rick Ross and Akon. We appreciate everybody for joining today. Nice. There are 3,082 of you watching, so we appreciate you guys all watching and joining. Make sure you hit the retweet button. Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate each and every one of you. The off season is a challenging time to create content, but this is our favorite time. We get the chance to talk to a bunch of former players and a bunch of current players about what's going on. Make sure July 27th, if you're available, come join us in Gainesville at First Magnitude Brewing from 2 until 5 p.m. It's a Sunday afternoon. You can bring your family. You can bring your kids. It's just going to be a great time. Just a lot of hanging out. So go visit our posh.vip website. We posted it earlier. I do want to thank Dex Mack earlier for asking a super chat question. We didn't get to it. Hopefully we answered it in the chat. We're going to talk a little bit more about recruiting next week. We're going to talk a little bit more about kind of where Florida stands in the recruitment process in July. It'll be July next month. Hope everybody has a happy Independence Day if you're watching from America. And more than anything, congratulations to ICO 605236.
What a name.
On graduating from the University of Florida.
If this is your last semester as in summer B, drop that class. Stick around for the fall. Playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
Playoffs. Talking about a game.
J Mac, favorite 8-ball MJG. I gotta go with Robbery. Great storytelling, legendary storytelling. That was the first tape.
Which one's your favorite?
That I brought home with a parental advisory, and my grandmother bent that thing up and threw it in the. It was a tape. It was a tape. My grandma crushed it and threw it in the trash, man. So shout out to 8-ball MJG, man. Big fan.
What was it in Big Pimpin' where he's like 8-ball and MJG?
Sure.
I'm not sure.
You're right.
Big Pimpin'.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
right,
thank you,
right,
Jordan. Somebody knows hip hop around here. Somebody knows
the flow was off. I couldn't recognize the lyrics because the flow was off, man. He's like, MJG. Like, no, that's not whole.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to think of Big Pimpin' lyrics. All right, you know what? That's the end of the show, guys. We appreciate everybody for watching. We will see you guys next week. Same corner, same time. Peace.